actress Sharon Tate enjoyed a brief but successful career in 1960s Hollywood. A beauty more than a talent, she was an ordinary girl with a simple, down-to-earth kindness. She became a sexy and glamorous flower child, married to a brilliant young director named Roman Polanski.
But for me, at least, she really embodies, you know, the high end and the low end of that cultural experiment we call the 60s. You know, someone who was well on her way to success as an actress. In some senses, she had it all. She is every Angelino's dream. And at the same time, of course, she's every Angelino's nightmare as well.
On August 9th, 1969, Sharon Tate was brutally murdered by disciples of Charles Manson. She was 8 months pregnant with Polanski's child. Her murder may have made her name more famous than anything she might have done in life.
And I think it's extremely sad that the media has linked Sharon to such a negative connotation, because her life was exactly the opposite. For some reason, 30+ years later, we are still trying to separate Sharon from that nasty M word, Manson.
Along with Sharon, the Manson family also murdered friends Wojtek Frykowski, coffee heiress Abigail Folger, and hairstylist and former boyfriend Jay Sebring.
You will best benefit yourself by keeping an open mind and forgetting most of what you have learned in the past, because, after all, the usefulness of a bowl is in its emptiness.
I don't think you can separate it. I think it's impossible at this point to separate that. The fact of the matter is that there is an incredible innocence and beauty, and knowing what happened to her, I think, makes these photographs all the more sort of haunting and sort of magnetic and compelling. And
I think that if she were still with us, we wouldn't look at those pictures and say exactly the same things. They wouldn't hold the same impact if it were not for her death.
You know, it's a fact of history, it's horrible, it's true. We needn't glory in it, neither should we ignore it. But I think these photographs, hopefully they help to let people reimagine Sharon without the horrible things that happened.
I think she was a very even-tempered, easygoing little girl. Seemed to be, even as an adult. She was very soft-spoken and very ladylike and a very sweet girl, beautiful girl.
Sharon Marie Tate was born in Dallas on January 25, 1943. Her father, Paul Tate, served in Army intelligence, which kept him away from home for long periods of time. Her mother, Doris Tate, was left alone with her new baby. On a whim, she entered the 6-month-old Sharon in the Miss Tiny Tot of Dallas contest.
I think it's fun for any woman to dress up their little princess and have her be admired. But when Sharon became a young woman, I think that it took an entirely different tone.
Doris Tate only entered her daughter in a few beauty contests, but success seemed to fall in Sharon's lap. She won a beauty pageant in Richland, Washington. She won the Miss Autorama contest, and she appeared on the cover of Stars and Stripes magazine, astride a missile. Paul Tate disapproved, but was absent too often to do anything about it.
The forward movement had already been started, and it would have been cruel to stop it, and possibly even impossible by the time he re-entered the picture. So it was already a wheel in motion and had to be played out.
The Tate family added 2 more daughters, Deborah in 1953 and Patty in 1957. They formed a picture of 1950s Middle America.
This boy and girl coming home from school look quite content with life. And why not? They're looking forward to an important date, dinner at home with the family.
church going and very respectful of school, and you know, they had their routine at night for homework. Yes, absolutely. Very normal American family. Mm-hmm.
Napkins on the lap, the family awaits service. They converse pleasantly while Dad serves. I said pleasantly, for that is the keynote at dinner time. It is not only good manners, but good sense. Pleasant, unemotional conversation helps digestion.
In 1959, Paul Tate moved his family to Italy, where he was assigned to the Pasalacqua base in Verona. Sharon transferred to Vicenza High, an American school for military kids.
Her beauty was she was such a fresh, you know, she had perfect skin and perfect teeth and perfect hair and a perfect figure, and that was in the days before you could go to your local friendly plastic surgeon and get the body you wanted. You know, she just was such a gorgeous gal.
I think what really sticks with me in looking back is how sweet she was. Mm-hmm. She never had an unkind thing to say about anybody.
Sharon was a cheerleader, and in her senior year, homecoming queen. She was a member of the library club. Everyone at Vicenza loved her.
And by the way, she was the first ever Vicenza American High School homecoming queen. And I'm not sure if that title was originated especially for Sharon, or whether it was the first year we ever had a football team. Here was Sharon, so we needed a homecoming queen.
We had somebody who was appropriate.
And she wore her tiara well.
Sharon used to try to get extra work on American movies that were filming on location nearby. Her first film role was in a crowd scene. Actor Dick Beamer noticed the pretty teenage extra working on his film, Adventures of a Young Man, and he gave her his agent's business card.
And so Beamer met her, and they went together as friends for off and on, and even back here. But he wrote me about her and told her to call me when he got to town.
Sharon jumped at the chance that had been handed to her. After graduation, she convinced her family to return to the United States alone and unchaperoned. 19-year-old Sharon Tate was about to slip effortlessly into fame.
Wasn't fantasizing about being a movie star. She never danced in the bedroom, and you know, we never did that kind of a thing that you would imagine most young kids or young girls doing that would like to be in film.